Windsor Castle is a royal residence at Windsor in the English county of Berkshire, about 25 miles west of central London, so it's a perfect day trip. It's the oldest and largest occupied castle in the world. King Charles III spends 2 days a week at Windsor Castle, and visitors can tell if he's home when the royal standard is flown from the round tower. So let me tell you everything you need to know for this visit to Windsor Castle from London. First, how to get there. There are two main ways to get here, and which way you decide will kind of depend on where your hotel is and how much you want to spend. The first time I went to Windsor, I took the bus because I lived in Hammersmith, and the bus went right through there, so it was super easy to just walk from my apartment to the bus stop. The bus you take is the London Line 702, formerly known as the Green Line 702, that runs hourly from London Victoria, stopping at Hyde Park Corner, Royal Albert Hall, Knightsbridge, Kensington, Hammersmith, Langley, and Slough. It then continues to Windsor, stopping outside the castle walls at the Theatre Royal. The total trip from Victoria Station takes about an hour and a half, and the bus is pretty nice. It's not a standard public bus, and it only costs £2 each way, so it's super cheap. The other way is the train, which departs about every 20 to 30 minutes from both Paddington and Waterloo stations in central London to Windsor and Eton. From Paddington, it's about 28 to 38 minutes to Windsor and Eton Central, and from Waterloo, it's about 55 minutes to Windsor and Eton Riverside. Both Windsor stations are fine. You can walk to the castle in a few minutes from there, and it'll cost between £5 to £12 one way, depending on the route you decide and if you have a UK rail card or not. If you don't know what a UK rail card is but want discounted train tickets during your trip in the UK, check out this video. Now let's talk about visiting the castle. I'd recommend buying your ticket in advance. It's £30 if you buy in advance versus £33 if you buy at the gate. And there's a risk of it being sold out, which it was the first time I tried to visit. It's open Thursday through Monday every week from 10 a.m. to 5:15 p.m., but St. George's Chapel closes at 4 p.m. So when you're buying the ticket online, you'll select the day and the time of your entry. When you arrive, you'll head to the ticket gate, scan your ticket, and then you'll go through security, which is like airport style security that doesn't have luggage storage or allow large pieces of luggage. Also, large backpacks and strollers are not allowed in the stateroom, so do keep that in mind. Bring as little as possible with you. Once you get through security, you're free to roam the grounds. The two main sites to see are the St. George's Chapel and the staterooms inside the palace itself. So walk from the security area to St. George's Chapel first. I'd recommend about 2 hours to visit the castle grounds altogether, not to mention the other parts of Windsor you'll want to explore as well, which I'll go into in a little bit. Do keep in mind that Windsor Castle is a working royal palace. Sometimes the entire castle or the state apartments within the castle need to be closed at short notice. If you'd like to witness the changing of the guard ceremony, this happens every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 11 a.m. This is a ceremony where the guards who have been on duty for the previous 24 or 48 hours hand over responsibility for protecting Windsor Castle to the new guard. Around 10:45 a.m. is when you'll see the guards marching in the parade up the street and enter the castle grounds, and only the people with entrance tickets can see more to the show inside the castle grounds, which is some more marching and some pageantry, some music. The main show is actually happening right in front of the St. George's Chapel, so once it's over, you can head inside St. George's Chapel. One thing to know about both St. George's Chapel and the castle itself, there's absolutely no pictures or videos allowed inside, so I do apologize. This video won't be as visually appealing since I can only take shots of the exterior and not the interior. But St. George's Chapel was actually my favorite part of the day. Not only is the interior itself stunning, but I didn't realize it was a burial place for a lot of famous monarchs and just influential people in general, including the late Queen Elizabeth II, who passed in 2022. After this, you'll follow the signs to the staterooms or the state apartments. This is the only other thing that's included in your standard ticket. When you're walking up to the entrance to the staterooms, the views are gorgeous with all this greenery down below you, all around you. Then you'll enter and you'll have to get your ticket scanned again. Once you're in, you can visit the ceremonial rooms, the historic rooms, and the semi-state rooms. This will probably take the majority of your time since there are quite a lot of rooms within these sections. It's your typical castle stuff if you've been to a castle before. Tons of artwork, gorgeous decor, decorative architectural details, lots of fancy gold and glass on display. So take your time walking through, soaking it all in since you can't take any photos or videos. You also want to check when you're buying your ticket if there are other exhibitions or add-ons you can purchase to make the most of your experience. For example, when we were there was a Conquer the Tower tour, and you could add that onto your ticket for £7 more. This was on for the full months of August and September. Essentially, it was a guided tour to the top of the world famous round tower at Windsor Castle. So you climb 200 steps to reach a height of 65.5 meters, while your expert guide will explain the history of this iconic structure. Then, of course, you can enjoy breathtaking views across the historic Windsor Parkland, the Thames Valley, London skyline, as well as the extent of Windsor Castle. So just double check if there's anything extra that's going to be happening during your visit and if you want to add that on. There is one cafe on the grounds that serves sandwiches, wraps, salads, teas, sweet treats, things like that. But honestly, I wouldn't waste your time eating here. The Windsor downtown is so cute and has so many restaurants to pick from. I'd rather eat there instead. Once you've seen everything within the castle grounds, there's one other castle related item that I do recommend that you do. I'm sure when you think of Windsor Castle, you think of the iconic shot of that really long driveway with greenery on both sides leading up to this massive castle. So now it's time to go see that beautiful sight. Once you exit the castle through the gate, you'll head right across the street to St. Albans Street. But before you do, you'll inevitably pass by Church Street, and you absolutely have to stop for a cute photo opportunity. It's just the cutest little street with all these like UK flags hanging up above, and I just loved it so much. So snap some photos, then head to the next street over and turn up St. Albans Street. Continue to follow the street until it turns into Park Street, and you'll see the view that I'm talking about in less than 15 minutes. It's so beautiful with trees lining the walkway that leads to a gate, and through the gate you can see the castle surrounded by greenery on both sides. A great opportunity for a photo and a great sight to see. From here, you can head back to the High Street, which has so many shops and restaurants, so grab some food, spend some time strolling up and down the street. You also want to do a detour down Peascod Street, which also has a ton of shops and restaurants on it. I was honestly blown away by this little town because I was simply expecting it to just be the castle and not really much else there, but the town is so charming with so much more than I expected. So like I said in the beginning of this video, it's the perfect day trip from London because it's less than an hour away, and you can spend about 2 hours alone within the castle, probably another 2 to 3 hours around Windsor downtown. Another one of my favorite day trips from London is Oxford, so now let's take a look at the top things to do in Oxford.